You know the feeling. The email hits your inbox, the score sheets and judge feedback are in from that beer competition you recently entered. Your heart does that little thump, thump, thump as you click the link, and there it is. An average or underwhelming score. Not a bad score, definitely not a drain pour, but it's just not as good as what you were hoping for. You frantically scroll down to the judges' comments, hoping for a treasure map to a gold medal, but instead you get a cryptic puzzle. The notes say things like slight astringency on the finish or lacks balance and drinkability. And what the hell does cheesy even mean anyway? You poured everything into this IPA. You obsessed over the water profile and you agonised over the dry hopping schedule. And for all that, you get a 35 out of 50, a bronze medal, or worse still, no medal at all. But what if I told you that judge feedback isn't the gut punch you think it is? It's actually a goldmine to help level up your beer quality. Those confusing words aren't a personal attack on your brewing skills, they're clues to better beer. And as an international beer judge myself, I can tell you that the beer judges, they're not haters, they're handing you directions to a better beer. The problem is, no one ever taught you how to read them. By the end of this episode of Quality Focused Pro Brewers, you'll have a framework to turn those scribbled notes into a huge jump in your next competition entry. Let's get brewing. G'day brewers, so before I hand you the decoder, we need to get real about why so many of us end up in this mediocre score purgatory. In the last episode, we talked about how to enter a beer competition with a strategy to win, and in this episode, we're going to talk about post-competition wash-up and how you can deal with the judge feedback. And whether you're a home brewer who's just entered a BJCP sanctioned competition, or you're a pro brewer with your AIBA or World Beer Cup results in hand, this is for you. In my experience, it boils down to three huge misunderstandings when brewers read judge feedback. Breaking these habits is the first and most crucial step. First, and this is the big one, brewers just don't understand the terminology that judges use, or at the very least the context it was written in. When a judge writes astringent, the brewer hears bad taste, and they're not the same thing at all. Astringency isn't a flavour, it's a perception of mouthfeel. It's that drying, puckering, almost fuzzy sensation on your tongue, like you just sucked on a wet tea bag. Rarely does it have anything to do with your hop bitterness, but rather how it's presented in the beer. More often than not, it's caused by tannins or your water profile. So if you get this comment in your judge feedback, the judge isn't saying your beer is gross, they're telling you something specific about what went wrong in your process. Maybe you oversparged on brew day, or maybe your sulfate to chloride ratio drifted too high when you created your water profile. The fix isn't changing your hops, it's checking your water profile or your lauter technique. You see the difference? Astringent, it's not an insult, it's a technical clue. And the same thing goes for a word like oxidized, and we write this a lot in beer competitions. The judge writes papery or cardboard or sherry notes, and you think, my beer doesn't taste like an Amazon package, but that's the established language for a specific kind of staling from oxygen on the hot side, namely trans 2-nonenal. For a hop-forward beer like an IPA, oxidation is a death sentence. It murders the vibrant hop aroma you work so hard for, and it replaces it with a dull, lifeless, stale character. Now, again, this isn't the judge's opinion. It's a direct signal for you to look at your process. Are you letting oxygen into your beer during transfers or packaging? Are you diligently purging your kegs, cans or bottles with CO2 before you fill them? These are almost always process problems and not recipe problems. And the second huge misunderstanding is misinterpreting when a judge says out of style. Now, let's be honest, this one hurts the ego more than the other comments you're likely to get. If you brewed a beer that you love and your friends rave about it, it's probably genuinely delicious, and the judges give it a low score because it's out of style. The gut reaction is to get defensive, right? I mean, you might say to yourself, well, what do they know? This is a great beer. I wrote the recipe myself. Or, no, I don't brew beer to any style anyway. But here's the hard truth. The judges might agree with you. It might actually be a great recipe and a fantastic beer. But in a competition, they aren't judging fantastic beer. They're judging a fantastic beer that fits the specific guidelines of the category that you entered the beer into. A judge's job is to score your beer against a target and a style guideline, not to give their opinion on whether they like the beer or not. If you enter an American IPA that drinks more like an American-style pale ale, maybe it's got lower bitterness or less aggressive hop character, they have to note it. They might write subdued hop character or too malty for style. You might have brewed a gold medal winning pale ale, but you put it in the wrong race. Don't get angry at the judge about that. Thank them for the free consulting, and next time either tweak the recipe to hit the IPA targets or enter that exact same beer into the pale ale category and see what happens. Your failure might just be a misplaced success. And before I dive into the next misunderstanding, if you're getting value from this video, can you hit the subscribe button? It keeps you notified when I release a new episode, helps the channel, and helps more brewers find this content and brew better beer. It's totally a win-win. The next, and maybe most destructive misunderstanding, is the panic-fueled overcorrection that gets made after competitions. You get a score sheet with a few critiques, and in a fit of frustration, you decide to change everything in your recipe. You mess with the malts, you swap the hops, you try a new yeast strain, you overhaul your water profile, and you change your fermentation temperatures. The next beer you brew isn't just an improved version, it's a completely different beer, and 9 times out of 10, it's worse. For example, when a judge says that your stout has a thin body, in a panic you go dump a bucket load of crystal malt in the next batch, completely ignoring the second comment about low attenuation. The real problem might have been a mash temperature that was too low, or maybe unhealthy yeast that just crapped out too early. By adding more crystal malt, you haven't fixed the root cause, and now you've got a beer that's cloying sweet and it's still thin. You've just stacked a new problem on top of the old one. Brewing is a game of inches. Small, targeted change is always more effective than a shotgun blast of alterations. Now, let's talk about how you turn the judges' scribbles into scores, right? So we know the traps, we know how we sabotage ourselves, and now let's get into the good part. I'm going to give you my system. It's a simple 5-step framework to take any score sheet and turn it into a concrete battle plan that'll improve your very next batch of beer. Go grab your latest score sheet and let's decode this thing. And if you stick around for a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how you can get your hands on my judge feedback fix PDF so you can decode that judge feedback and fast track success at your next brewing competition. Now, the first step is stop reading the comments as opinions and start treating them like data. We need to translate the judge's language into 3 buckets: recipe, process, or fermentation. This tells you where in the brewery the problem with your beer lives. For instance, if a judge writes a comment like astringent or harsh finish, almost always this points to a process issue. You're looking at something like your sparge temperature being too high, or you've oversparged and not measured your runnings gravity and pH. Or maybe your mash temperature was a bit out of whack, or maybe you milled your grain too fine, or your water profile sulfate to chloride ratio isn't presenting the molten bitterness in a balanced way for the style. The fix is in your brew day process and water profile, and it's got nothing to do with the list of ingredients in your recipe. A comment like thin body or watery mouthfeel could be a recipe or a process issue. It might mean your recipe needs more bodybuilding grains, maybe some dextrin malt or some flaked oats, or it could be a process flaw, like your mash temperature was too low, making a super fermentable wort that finished too dry. Go check your batch log. Did you mash at the right temperature? That might be your culprit. And if you get a comment like diacetyl mentioned in your judge feedback, they might describe it as buttery or a butterscotch slickness. And this is a giant fermentation flag. It means your yeast made this compound but didn't have the health, time, or temperature to clean it up. The fix isn't in your recipe, it's in your fermentation management. Did you pitch enough healthy yeast? Was your fermentation temperature too low, making the yeast go to sleep too early? Did you cold crash your beer too soon before testing for the presence of diacetyl? Were you a victim of dry hop creep? A simple diacetyl rest by raising the temperature a few degrees for the last couple of days of fermentation and dry hopping at the right time can often solve this. And what about when the judges say oxidized? This is one of the most common comments that I give when I'm judging. It's often described in judges' notes as stale or tired or papery. That's a post-fermentation process problem focused on your beer handling. This points you right at your dry hopping, transferring, and packaging methods. It's all about keeping the oxygen away from your finished beer because the tolerances for DO are minuscule and they're measured in parts per billion. By sorting every comment into these categories, you immediately narrow your focus. You go from, my beer sucks, to, I need to check my fermentation temperatures. The next step is to follow the points. When I'm judging a beer, I always assume that every beer that gets put in front of me is a 20 out of 20 or a 50 out of 50, and I deduct points from there until it lands at its appropriate level. A beer, in my opinion, should never ever earn its score, especially in medal competitions. So when you take a look at your judge feedback sheet, you've got to ask yourself, where did you take the biggest hit? Now, depending on the type of competition you enter, the typical judging score sheet is broken down into sections like aroma, appearance, flavour, body, mouthfeel, overall impression, adherence to style, and maybe technical ability. Medals are won or lost based on where you lost the most points. If you lost 8 points in the flavour section but only 1 point in appearance, don't waste your time trying to get your beer clearer. Your energy is much better spent on that flavour problem. Was it a balance issue? Was there an off flavour? The points tell you where to focus. A minor issue in a points light section such as appearance is for fine tuning later, but a major flaw in the points heavy section such as flavour is a 5-alarm fire that you need to go and put out first. The next step is you got to hunt for patterns between the different beers that you entered into the same competition. This is why entering many beers into a competition is absolute gold. If one judge mentions a slight grassy note, it could be just them. But if 2 or 3 judges across 2 or more different beers all mention grassy or vegetal notes in your IPAs, you don't have a judge problem, you've got a you problem. And that's a pattern. Patterns point to systemic issues. A recurring grassy note could mean that your dry hopping contact time is too long. A recurring theme of low hop aroma in your hoppy beers probably means that you've got a dissolved oxygen issue in your packaging process that's killing those delicate compounds before they ever reach the judges. Patterns are more important than single comments when it comes to interpreting judge feedback. One data point is an anecdote, multiple data points are evidence. So start treating your score sheets like a long-term study of your own brewery. Collect the data, find the patterns, and let them lead you. That's why it's super important to enter more than one beer into each competition. And the next step is choose your fix. All right, so once you've translated, prioritized, and found the patterns from your judge feedback, you can decide what kind of fix you need to make to your beer. This is where you connect the problem to a concrete action. Is it a recipe fix? This is all about ingredients. Based on feedback like lacks balance and a note that it seems too sweet, you might decide on upping your bittering hops, for example. Or for that thin body, you might tweak your grain bill slightly. Maybe it's a process fix. This is about what you do on brew day and in the cellar. For something like astringency, you might fix your water profile. If DMS gets mentioned, or they say that there's a cooked corn flavour in your beer, make sure you've got a rolling, vigorous boil with the lid off to make sure that the DMS precursor is driven off during the boil. Is it a style selection fix? This is the easiest one to fix. The feedback you get says too high for style or too low for style, then maybe the beer doesn't need to change at all. The fix? Don't change a thing. Just enter it into a different style category next time. Knowing the BJCP or BA style guidelines is just as important as knowing how to brew. A brewer who understands the style guidelines can score higher with the exact same beer just by putting it into the right style category. Now, if these fixes resonate with you, then I reckon you should go and grab a copy of my 5-minute judge feedback fix. It'll show you how to turn confusing judge comments into clear, actionable fixes in minutes without guessing or overcorrecting. Comment judge feedback fix below and I'll send it right over to you. Now, the next step is make one targeted change at a time in your beer. This is the most important step and it requires the most discipline. All right, you ready? Do not change everything in your beer. Based on your analysis of your score sheet and judge feedback, pick the single biggest issue that'll give you the most points back the next time you enter it in a competition. If your beer was dinged for being astringent and for low body, fix the astringency first. That's a fundamental flaw. Body's an easy fix you can dial in later. Make one targeted change to your beer. If the feedback is too bitter for style, you could either drop your 60-minute hop addition by 10% or maybe you could adjust your water profile so it leaves a bit more residual sweetness in the beer. Don't do both at once. If you do both and the beer gets better in your next competition, you'll have no idea which change actually worked and you haven't learned a thing. Brew the beer again with that one change. Taste it, and more importantly, taste it blind against the last batch if you can. Ask yourself, did it work? Or did it create a new problem? This slow, methodical, scientific approach is how you break out of mediocrity and into award-winning beer. It's how you truly learn your system and your process so you can take control of your results in your next competition. That score sheet with the average score that you're disappointed in isn't a wall, it's a doorway to improvement. You're probably already making a well-made beer with minor fixable flaws. You're on the cusp of greatness, and inside those confusing comments about astringency and balance and style are the blueprints for your next award winner, because it's probably just a 5% fix that'll get you there. You just need to pay attention to the feedback. Stop lashing out at the judges of the competition and stop seeing the judge feedback as personal criticism and start seeing it as a free consultation from a panel of experts. Your job as the brewer is to become the translator. Use the decoder system, translate the language, follow the points, find the patterns and pick your fix, and make sure that you only make one targeted change to your beer. Brewing's a journey of continuous improvement. Those little 1% improvements each batch, that's not magic, that's methodology. It's about taking feedback, checking your ego at the door, and turning those judge notes into a deliberate plan. That's the difference between a brewer who gets angry at the judges and the competitions and a brewer who creates excellence on demand and wins all the medals and trophies. And I reckon you should check out this video next if you want the playbook to brew an award-winning batch of beer in just 60 days. Whether you're a home brewer, planning a brewery, or already running a commercial brewery, you just need to get the targeted brewing knowledge you need right now, depending on where you're at in your brewer's journey. Thanks heaps for watching this episode of Quality Focused Pro Brewers, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.